And this week's timeless lesson is dedicated for the refuah shlema, for the speedy recovery of Malka Yuta ben Shendel. So we're entering into the holiday of Rosh Hashana. Rosh Hashana is the day of judgment, the day where the whole world stands before God. And it's amazing that from all of that which we do, the rabbis tell us that the thing that is the most powerful, if you will, is when we blow the shofar. At that moment, the Talmud teaches us that God, so to speak, gets up off his throne of judgment and moves to his throne of mercy. It has the power to shift God from judgment to mercy. Why? So the Talmud tells us because it reminds God of the binding of Isaac. If you remember the story, Abraham was commanded to bring Isaac up as a, so to speak, a sacrifice. It was such a hard thing to do, to sacrifice your own child. And at that point, he wasn't a child, he was a middle-aged man. But Abraham did it anyways. And at that moment that he was about to sacrifice him, God stopped him. But God never forgot it. And we remember that moment every single year. And it serves as a merit for me and for you. But I have a question. If we're worried about the story, if you actually go into the story, and you got to find a symbol from the story of the binding of Isaac, what symbol would you choose? Remember the story? He's about to kill him. The angels stop him. He comes down. It's over. And after he's finished, they hug. He says, I'm sorry. Isaac's like, it's okay. Right? The credits come up. The music changes. Everything's fine. He sees a ram and offers the ram as a sacrifice in its place. And the ram, that's where we get the shofar from. Now, if you're picking a symbol, what would you pick? The ram, the shofar? It's not even in the story. When the ram shows up, Isaac's already safe. There's no drama in the ram. There's no drama in the shofar. The drama is in what took place beforehand. Isaac almost died. And if you need a symbol to remind God and remind us about what Abraham did in almost killing his son, wouldn't you pick like the rope or like better the knife? Wouldn't that be a much better symbol to like hold up like a machete? Imagine like the rabbi like pulls a guy out from the back, puts him on the bima, ties him up. Everyone's like, Rabbi, what are you doing? Pulls out a machete. Can you imagine that happening in shul? Everyone's like, no, Rabbi, no. He's like, see? Binding of Isaac. That's a symbol. That's the drama. That's the story. What do we get? The shofar? The shofar shows up at the end. The shofar's not even in the story. Why is that the symbol for? So let me share with you an idea. In the world, we have in the Jewish concepts, we have two different principles. The one principle is called din. Din is judgment. Din is also law and order. They're rules. God commands us to do things. And we're supposed to follow them. Some things we understand, some we don't understand. And Rosh Hashanah is a day of judgment. It's a day of law. And God looks at the world and says, you guys follow the rules. And the truth is, we're not. And even the stuff that forget the things that we don't know about, or that we don't understand, even the stuff that we do understand. Treating our family well, giving charity, being nice to people. Like stuff that's like basic. We don't even do that so much. We try, sometimes, not sometimes. When we stand before God on the day of judgment, very few people can look up and say, I'm good with the rules, I got it all. So on the day of judgment, we pull a trick. It's a great trick. God sets us up to pull the trick, which is we don't deal with din, with law. See, there's another concept called chesed. Chesed is above law. Chesed is like kindness. It's giving. It's beyond. You don't have to do it. When you give someone charity, you don't have to do it. It's beyond. You have to give a certain amount, but when you give more, when you go beyond for somebody, when you do a kind thing for somebody, when you sacrifice yourself for something, when you go beyond what's expected of you, you get into the world of called chesed. The symbol, think about it. God commanded Abraham to sacrifice. It was a tough command, but it was a command. Didn't make sense. It's still a command. It was the law. When God says it, it's law. Abraham followed the law. At the end, when God said you don't got to do it, he passed. Now he could have said, it's over. I'm out of here. I got my A. I'm done with the semester. I finished Yom Kippur. I'm done. But he didn't do that. He said, no, you don't get it, God. This isn't I'm not taking tests. This is a relationship. I want to give you something. God goes, give me something. How much more can you give me? He goes, no, I want to give you. He goes, what do you mean? The ram that he took after Isaac was his way of going beyond the law. It was his entrance into chesed. The shofar symbolizes the moment where Abraham went beyond what was expected. And on Rosh Hashana, we blow it to remind ourselves and God of that, but to remind ourselves to be like Abraham, to go beyond, to act in a way that is more than we think we're even capable of, to do something that we don't think we can do, but we should do, to call somebody and repair a relationship when it wasn't even our fault in the first place that it broke down. When we prepare for Rosh Hashana, and we come to Rosh Hashana, and we realize that the greatest way to deal with judgment is to go above judgment, to show God that I don't stop at what's expected, I don't stop at the law, I go beyond the law. I want to be more. I want to be connected. I want a real relationship with you. I'm willing to go past my perceived limitations and push myself out of my comfort zone for you. When we do that, we don't just hear the shofar, we become the shofar. And the shofar stands for that, and God hears that call and says, wait, you're coming out for me? You want to see what I can do beyond the law? I'm coming out for you. And God, so to speak, gets up from judgment and moves to mercy. As we prepare for Rosh Hashanah, if you want to really prepare, think past yourself. Give, forgive, push past the limits. Show God that you want to be like a shofar, so that He can ultimately bring the world the mercy and the good and the blessing that it needs.